Good morning. Hello, Southern Charm. How are you today? Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. For those of you who may not know me, my name's Tracy, and today is our chat show. It is our Halloween special. So happy Halloween, everybody! It is one of my favorite holidays. I was going to come dressed up this morning, but I was dressed up last night. Don't know if anybody caught that show. Good morning, Kimmy. Um, so I was dressed up last night, and I've got to dress up tonight. So I was like, I can't do it. Did you see that? So yeah, way out of my comfort zone. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But before we get going, on Wednesday night, I held the New Seller Surge Raid Train, and okay, I thought I forgot to put my mic on. It's there. Okay, we did the New Seller Surge Raid Train, and at the very end of it, I was supposed to come back on at 8 o'clock, and I had massive technical difficulties. So part of what I want to talk about is just overcoming technical difficulties. But before I do that, I really want to I'm going to tag our new sellers. I'm going to run a giveaway that I was supposed to run that night, and just kind of do a quick follow up from that, because I felt that I didn't do them justice the way I wanted to. So on Wednesday night, we had 5 new sellers. I'm going to go ahead and tag them if I can here really quick. If you can bear with me. The first one was Straight from DeHart. She was awesome. That is Cassie. Let's see, and I'm going to put them in one at a time. So that was Cassie, and she was so cool. I loved watching her show. She did a reverse auction. She tried for the very first time doing a reverse auction. Don't know if any of you were watching on Wednesday night, but these were all really cool sellers, people that you may want to go and check out. They had great items. So anyways, I was super proud that she tried a reverse auction. So that was really cool. She was awesome. And then from there, we went to me. I'm not going to talk about myself. I do that enough. Then we went to Libby Nan's. Let's see, Libby Nan's Wrinkled Memories. I just love that name. So we went and saw Libby Ann's Wrinkled Memories. She had amazing stuff too. She is so sweet, and she had the best, sweetest Southern accent. I loved listening to her. And she had an amber jar that I wanted so bad, but then Choco Dog bought it, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta let Choco Dog have it. But yeah, she had great things too, and she's just really sweet. She reminded me, the vibe was very relaxing, and the type of person, like when you're shipping or whatever, not that you don't want to buy, you want to buy, but that you can just listen to in the background for a long, long time. So I really enjoyed listening to her. After that, we went and saw, we went to Gypsy Soul. See if I can spell this right. Hold on, can't spell. GYSP. Gypsy Soul Vibes, but for some reason I can't spell it. Gypsy Soul. Okay, for some reason she is not coming up for me. If anybody could try to tag Gypsy Soul Vibes, for some reason I just cannot get it to come up. But if anybody can help me out, it's Gypsy Soul Vibes. We went and saw her. That is Brandy. She was awesome too. And you know what she did? She really embraced trying new things. She did $2 start items, which I really felt watching her that it was outside of her comfort zone. So I was super proud of that she tried, because part of the New Seller Raid Train is to have people try new things that they're not really familiar with. Thank you. Thank you, Sunshine Vintage. I appreciate that. For some reason, it just wasn't coming up and previously mentioned. All right. After Gypsy Soul Vibes, and you know what? Before I go to the next one, this is the giveaway I was going to run that night. So we're going to run it now. It is a tumbler, a Halloween tumbler with a $5 Starbucks gift card and a little Halloween pack. So this is running right now. I was supposed to run it that night and didn't get to. All right. Good morning, The Bird Theory. So then after Gypsy Soul Vibes, we saw Chili Pepper Peach. Now, let me type her in. If you guys like Christmas, she had so much. There she is right there. So much Christmas, vintage Christmas. She had some of those old Santa mugs that were really cool. And she had the elusive Shiny Brights. I don't know about you. I know Southern Charm does a lot of vintage Christmas and probably has Shiny Brights. I can't get my hands on them. The price of those things are so crazy expensive here in Pennsylvania. So when I saw her showing off her Shiny Brights, I was just a little bit jealous. But she has some great Christmas, and I'm sure she does other stuff too. But that night she had a ton of really great Christmas. And then finally we went and saw the White Owl. And the White Owl, you guys, if you have never seen her, definitely bookmark that. I just put it in the chat. Definitely bookmark the White Owl. She had such a unique, curated collection. Her bio said no filler. And as sellers, we get our banger items. We get some really cool stuff. But then we also just get kind of some of the run-of-the-mill, normal, kind of average stuff. Yeah, I don't think she had any filler. She didn't have run-of-the-mill stuff. It looked like she specifically went out and shopped forever for each and every item. I was super impressed. So definitely one to watch if you want those unique, one-of-a-kind conversations like type pieces. And it was all over. It was like, there was like folk art stuff. There was pottery. Everything really had some good character. Good morning. I love discounts. How are you this morning? All right. So I just wanted to wrap up and just tell those sellers, thank you. Give them a little bit of credit that I was not able to do because of technical difficulties, which, you know what? Who here just put like an emoji or something in the chat. Peeps, I will tell you in just a second if you've had technical difficulties in the show, because there we go. Yep, I definitely have. Hello, reptile guy. And there's nothing you can do. You keep trying. The first couple of times it happened to me, Southern Charm, yeah. The first couple of times I would get so frustrated and so mad, and particularly at my husband, because he is my tech guy, right? He does all my cameras, the graphics, all of that great stuff. And if it didn't work, I'd be like, can't we just use a cell phone like everybody else on whatnot? And I would get so upset. But now that, I've had some technical difficulties on my own. It's not just it's always his fault. That's right. We just need reason to fire him. Good morning. So it's not because you're using advanced technology or two devices. Sometimes it just is what it is. And I have to remind myself this too. You do your best. And if you can't do the show, then you wait and you do it later or you do it tomorrow. It's not the end of the world. Because I'm going to say a really cold, hard truth right here. There are thousands of people on Whatnot, right? Like sellers. I'm just talking, there's probably thousands, probably more than that, of sellers on Whatnot. If any one of us were just to disappear off of Whatnot, you may have a couple of your regular people, a couple of people that you've become close with or have personal relationships or made friends that would reach out and be like, are you okay? Where are you? We're worried about you. But in general, most of the people will be like 3-4 months from now and go, oh, I haven't seen that Zoe Treasures girl recently. Wonder if she's still on Whatnot. Okay, I'll go find somebody else. So it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. I think that's my big message this morning. If you have technical difficulties, you apologize. You do what you can to make it up later. It is what it is. So I just had to say that. Okay, let's talk about some upcoming stuff. If you guys, there's 50 seconds left. If you're not in that giveaway, go ahead and thank you, Southern Charm. Southern Charm would check on me. I would check on you too if I didn't see you. Good morning, Casey's Place. How are you? Hey, wait a second. Don't you guys have a show right now? Casey's Place? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about, not yet. Oh, pretty soon. Okay. What is coming up this week? Tomorrow I have my reverse auction. Super excited. We only do this every few weeks, like 5 to 6 weeks. I will be posting pictures tonight. I have a lot of inkwells, a lot of inkwell bases, all vintage antique, and a few other stuff too. It's not just all. Cindy stole their time slot. You guys, we got to divert really quick. So I was going to talk about this in a minute, but did anybody see the raid train last night, the Halloween raid train? Sunshine Vintage Style, you are getting that little Halloween bundle. Congratulations. The Halloween raid train last night, it was conducted by JJ Shopper and CG Boomerang Echo. We had, and the bunnies, yes. There was, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 sellers. Everybody had 5-minute time slots. It went on for like 4 hours. It was so good. Everybody was dressed up. You had to bring your best costume. JJ even put in the invite, don't show up and don't even sign up if you're not going to bring your best. So I came as a Lorax. completely out of my comfort zone. But from like the very first or second person was Cindy Golden Girls, and she dressed up as a shipping Julie, so mad shipping Julie, JJ Shopper. And then for the rest of like everybody just kept bragging on Cindy Golden Girls the whole time. I don't really know her. I haven't watched her shows. She was new to me. She was one of those people that I got introduced to through a raid train. Yeah, the whole train was so good. I was on it the whole time. There were so many people. Oh, thank you, thank you, Rewired. So, well, good morning, CG. Your ears must be ringing. And JJ Shopper, we were just talking about you. Thank you so much. But it was just good. I just completely lost my train of thought. But watching all of the sellers, it was so much fun. I did want to bring it up because, you know, I always talk about bringing your authentic self, being you, being your goofy self or whatever it is. And a year ago, I never, ever, ever would have imagined myself in a costume on Whatnot. I wouldn't even show my face when I first started. I mean, let alone I sit here like talking to you now, literally how many years ago? 15 years ago when I went to college. I went back to college late in life as an adult. I was afraid to say my name in front of people. So the fact that I would get dressed up, completely not me whatsoever, and come on Whatnot, it was like testament to me. And I was very proud of myself on how far I have grown and being able to do things. And I was nervous up until the time that show ended. You know, CG, I found out about it about a week ago. CG had messaged me with the invite, and I almost immediately, because usually when I get an invite from CG, it's almost an instant yes for me always. But I looked at it and I'm like, ooh, I gotta dress up. Now I have a whole box of Halloween costumes. I dress up to pass out candy. That's normal to me, and I guess that just comes as a kid. You always dressed up. Doesn't seem weird, but I'm in my own driveway, like with people that I like kind of know, right? So I didn't sign up, and I waited a day or two, and I kept thinking about it, and it's like, I can do this, right? And I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm just gonna go for it. And we came up with the costumes like a couple of days before. Oh, Sunshine Vintage, thank you so much. I feel like we all do this, and this is kind of like, I'm not saying it for like, oh, pat myself on the back. I'm saying it for those sellers who are like, thank you, JJ Shopper. Those sellers who are freaked out right now, who are like, I can never do this. I couldn't show my face. You become more comfortable. I am here in my basement. There's a camera in front of me. I can't see your guys' faces. You guys could all be sitting there rolling your eyes going, oh my God, this lady's crazy. And I don't know that. And it's okay. It's okay. Like, you're here just talking to the camera, or talking to your phone or whatever it is you use. It gets better. Like, if you're scared, it gets better. And pushing yourself, there's no way to get through it unless you push yourself to do it. Green 13 talks a lot about how he was a major introvert at one point, and he talks about fear. And he's like, you have to do it. The fear is just holding you back. You've got to just do what you're afraid of to get through it. Thank you. It was so much fun, you guys. It just, I wrote a bunch of thoughts down, like, last night I felt that I stuttered. Like, here I am going, ugh. I'm a very much person. I have all of my notes. Every talk show, you guys see me with my notes. I can sit here and talk for 2 hours as long as I have notes to go by. Put me on camera for 5 minutes with an unscripted 5 minutes, and I feel like a blubbering fool. But it's okay. It's okay. Look at everybody last night. If you guys were on this trade, some people just talked. Some people stuttered. Some people were like a little unsure. Others were just like outrageous in a good way. Like, they were out there and they were laughing. And you know what? Everybody had a good time. Nobody at the end of the night was like, oh, did you see that fool? Did you do this? Nobody did that. Everybody had a good time and everybody celebrated and we all came together. So no matter like how you feel, if you keep pushing yourself into that, spotlight, I guess, it's going to be okay. Like, I don't know. I'm a person who I very much fear judgment and people like making fun of me. But it's not that way. It's at the end of the day, it's just not like that. Yeah. The whole train was amazing. Everybody on it was good. There was too many people for me to name. but just being able to see everybody, it was so much fun. I cannot wait for next year. JJ Shopper, CG Boomerang, I'm totally in for next year. I'm already have ideas of costumes. So if you do it again, I'm like totally in for it if I can be on the train. All right, other things coming up. Next week, okay, oh, first of all, tomorrow, my reverse auction. Come and watch that. Shop Happy Challenge. I am in the Shop Happy Challenge next week. I saw her do this, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and I saw a few people that, like Natural State of High in particular is the one that stuck out to me, doing this challenge every day. So this is 7-day challenge, starts November 3rd, which I think is Monday. I hope I'm right. I've got it scheduled. And it is every day you have to be on, and there's like, you can either be on 20 minutes or 60 minutes. Certain days has to be 60 minutes, but every day is a different challenge that you're doing. Trying something new, introducing yourself, co-hosting somebody. So if you go and look at the shows, they're all listed on there. Thank you, I Love Discounts, for tagging. I appreciate that. So you can see what they are. I love it. Again, this goes right back to my whole kind of thing that I say, you got to try something new, you got to push yourself, and this is just right in line with it. So when I watched Natural State of High doing this challenge a couple of months ago, I was like, this is really cool. And so the minute I saw Shop Happy doing it again, I messaged her. I'm like, hey, is there any way I can get in on your challenge? I love this idea. So we're going to do this. Please take a look at that, bookmark those. And then that is all I had as far as updates. Let me run another giveaway. We're going to do something fun today. Since it's Halloween, we're going to have a little bit of this and that. I have all of my giveaways that I'm running are trick or treats. So I'll show you what your treat is, and then you also are going to get a trick every time somebody wins. So first one is a Halloween postcard, and I will let you know what the trick is when that winner is pulled. But let's start off with the quick this or that, and then we'll get into the topics. So this or that, you guys, tell me in the chat. Are you a homemade costume or store-bought costumes? Let me know, homemade or store-bought. I am probably a mix in between. I think when my kids were little, homemade all the way when my kids were little. But now that I'm getting older and more busy, I'm kind of like, let's buy it. Oh, look at this. Homemade is winning, hands down. I'll tell you who had a really cool homemade costume last night. Why is her name? Tenacity Ridge. She like thrifted her whole costume and then like put piece of it together. Amazing costume. She was the Mad Hatter. Was so good. She looked so good last night. Amanda, yes, Amanda from Tenacity Ridge. Her costume, that was probably one of my favorite ones. Seeing it, and then you know what I really liked? The people getting into character. I'm like, okay, next year that's my goal, is to be more into a character. I got the dressing up part. Next year is more of the character. Again, baby steps, right? So that was fun watching people get into character. Okay, let's talk about, today we're going to talk about branding. Let's just kind of take it way back to the beginning. Let's talk about branding. I don't think this is going to be anything revolutionary, but hang in there with me. Let's just practice all year as an old lady. Yeah, me too. Especially trying to like get out of bed or off the floor. What is it? Totally, okay, the squirreling here. What is it about age that once you get on the floor, you can't get back up? It is awful. I want to dress up as Pippi Longstockings. Yes. Yeah, that was really good. So let's talk about branding. And I've kind of broken branding up into three areas. So you have before the show, during the show, and after the show. This is so important. I think a lot of people on Whatnot, I'm not going to say a lot. There is some people that come to Whatnot and they don't realize it's a business right off the bat. And it's just, I'm going to sell a few things. And it's okay if at the beginning you're kind of like, I'm not sure if I really like this. Am I all the way in or not? And I think branding also kind of grows as you grow, but it is something you totally need to think about. It's probably the most important thing on Whatnot. Besides accounting, I'll always say accounting is most important, but one of the most important things you've got to think about as a new seller. And if you're an experienced seller and never really gave it much thought, maybe now's the time to step back and really think about the big picture. So the main thing about branding is, what's your identity? What's your vibe? What is it that you want people to feel when they come into your show, when they see your logo, when they see your thumbnail? What feelings do you want to invoke? Because we're selling nostalgia, at least in the vintage decor category. It's nostalgia. It's how did I feel when, I used to bake cookies with my grandma, or when I went to, when I was a kid, and the decor my mom had. So the feeling that you're creating is probably the most important thing. And you do that through the tools we have, right? It's visual. They can't touch it. They can't smell it. They can see it. So we have to really see and hear. So we have to really focus on being able to see and hear. We have a disadvantage over retail stores, right? Over your brick and mortar stores, where they can go in and they can use all of their senses to help encourage a sale. Well, we only really have, 2 of our senses that we can use, what we see and what we hear. But we can take what they see and what they hear to create feelings. And that's really what we're doing with a brand, is creating a feeling. When we talk about branding, we're talking about consistent logos, colors, and we're going to go through all of it. But let's start with, first of all, branding before your show. So what are we doing before the show? We're building anticipation and recognition. So that's the biggest things we're doing before we ever even hit go live button, is building anticipation and recognition. You want them to be excited for your show. You want to build that FOMO, right? And you want them to be able to recognize you. If you guys have any ideas and I'm not hitting things that you do, please share them. Please let us know. This is a community. I don't have all the ideas. I have some, but I know there's a ton of things that people do that I may not even recognize or think about. So please, 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 if you guys have ideas, throw them in the chat too. But when we're talking about before, we're setting the tone and making your brand identifiable. Who's going to get that giveaway? Peeps 1006. Okay, Peeps, you get a treat. You get a Halloween postcard. But in addition, we're going to give you a trick. I have bad, either life or whatnot advice as your trick. So here's your first piece of bad whatnot advice. Second, blessings. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is actually bad whatnot advice. Don't take it. Just use it for the humor that's in it. This is your trick. Don't bother describing your items. Mystery builds character. There's your bad whatnot advice. Okay. We'll run another giveaway in just a few minutes. And I'm going to stop and squirrel for a second because I just remembered I told somebody to wait. They asked about a raid train and I didn't answer their question. So I'm going to answer your question now. I do apologize for not getting to it quicker. Hold on. Let me get this off the screen. Oops, wrong one. So to get on a raid train, one thing I would first off suggest that you do is go follow CG Boomerang Echo. And on Thursday evening, she has a talk show, a chat show all about raid trains. It talks, good morning, Brittany, talks all about how to get on raid trains, the etiquette of raid trains, what to do on raid trains, everything under the sun about raid trains. She is a great person to follow. Not only does she talk about raid trains, she conducts a lot of raid trains. The next thing I would tell you to do, which I basically learned from CG anyway, so you can go there and hear the same thing, is follow the trains. There are trains on, particularly on the weekends, but they run throughout the week too, different days. But on usually Saturday and Sunday, you're going to see the majority of them. Follow a train that interests you. If you like primitive decor, if you like sports cards or T-shirts or whoever's doing a train, follow those trains. Sorry, I got sidetracked by the chat. Follow those trains and see who's conducting them. And then, let's see. She was in the chat a minute ago, but let me see if I can type her in. Let's do at CG Boomerang Echo for Raid Train Chat Show. There you go. Okay, you can just click on her name. Oh, thank you. I love discounts. A couple of people put it in there, and then you can follow her that way. There she is. She's right there. CG, I was just telling somebody to go follow you to hear about your Raid Train chats. So find a raid train that you like, see who the conductor is. Most of the time, the conductor's name is on either the thumbnail, or it is standard practice to have people say thank you. When you're selling on a raid train, it's very good etiquette to always thank the conductor. So if you're on the train, you're going to hear that person's name mentioned frequently. Send them a message. Say, hey, I've been on your train. I've been watching it all day or for however long. I think it's amazing. I love primitive decor. whatever it is. I've been a seller for this long. Tell a little bit about yourself. I mean, you don't need to write a book, but have some niceties, have a little bit of conversation there. And if you have openings, I'd love to be considered. That's all you need to do. Start a conversation, reach out to them. Now, don't get upset if they don't message you back right away. But a lot of the sellers are really receptive to that. I run a new seller raid train, and I am always looking for new sellers to put on a new seller raid train. So if you are a new seller, you're interested, we're doing signups for February, but you can message me, and when those signups come out, they'll get sent to you. But that's the way to do it. You start making connections, you start making friends with people as a seller, and then as you start to grow, people will reach out to you. If you're doing what you're supposed to, you're keeping your rating up, you're shipping on time, you're hosting shows that people are attending, you're doing pretty well, people start to reach out to you to get on the trains. So that's how you get on a train. All right, so let's go back to branding. We're going to talk about branding. We're talking about before the show. We're setting the tone. We're making our brand identifiable. Obviously, first thing is name and logo. And that's a question we hear a lot. Also, if you guys have questions, feel free anytime, throw them in the chat. I will try to answer them as fast as possible. Your name really should be something that is like a business name. If you are Bob Smith, 864 2210, that's probably the name Whatnot assigned you when you signed up. That's not quite a store name. Think about brick and mortar establishments. Almost everything I do on Whatnot, I think about a real brick and mortar. Why? They've been around for hundreds of years. They have worked for this long. They must know something. I'm going to learn a lesson or two from them. So think about your name. What does the name imply? You don't want to be too specific. You don't want to be, your name, I sell vintage decor. Okay, what happens if I want to go and sell clothing? So don't lock yourself in a box with your name. And then the logo. Logos are so easy. You just changed yours. See, that's great. So completely thrifted. And that kind of tells me you're reselling something from the thrift store, and that leaves it open. That can be clothing, that could be vintage decor, it could be home decor. So I love that. Create a logo, any type of logo, but try to think through it. So when we're creating a logo, we're creating a visual brand. We want consistency. We want to think about our colors, our fonts, the pictures we're using. Again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to create a certain vibe. So if the vibe you want to create is relaxing spa atmosphere, you might not want to do, pictures of turtles. Like, does that say spa? Does turtles say spa? If you're selling t-shirts, you probably don't want to do pictures of vintage decor. So think about, what does your logo communicate your vibe, right? And then use consistent coloring. As you're thinking about your brand, pick a couple of colors, whether it's a handful, 5 or 6 colors, and that's kind of the colors that you're going to be doing your fonts in for when you're writing correspondence, like when we'll talk about thank you letters and stuff later on, when you're creating your logo, when you're creating your thumbnails. Have consistency throughout. Think again, let's go and think about retail stores. Does Target, is their logo, it's red, it's easily recognizable. Do you ever see it in blue? You may see it in black. Certain print is what it is, but it's never in blue. It's never in purple. It's never in pink. It's consistent, and we know what it is and we recognize it. That's what you want with your logo. You want something that creates that vibe and is consistent throughout. Show titles is the next one. This is your brand voice. Your show title is the brand voice. It's how you're talking to people. Make it descriptive. You make it something fun too. We want to use consistency in our titles, but you can also tie it into that vibe. If I'm, as a vintage decor seller, wanting this cozy, homey, come and shop with me feeling, that's kind of this, that cozy is the word I keeps coming back. Maybe I want my kind of like titles to be something like vintage finds and cozy vibes, right? That's telling people quickly what they're going to find and how they're going to feel when they get there. So think about your show titles. They do communicate something. And I'm not an expert in this. This is my opinion. Sassy, that's it. I love discounts. She put in the chat, mine is sassy and cheeky, and it totally is. I was actually thinking last night, I was thinking about you, and I was going to talk about how my show is always clean and no parental guidance needed until I invite I love discounts. And then it gets spicy, and that's when it gets fun. But you do set this vibe. You know, when you go to I Love Discount Show, you're going to get a little bit of sass. You're going to get a little bit of edginess. You're going to get a little bit of I don't want to say sex, but that sexiness that just you're living right there on the edge where, oh, she's about to cross the line. What are they going to say? Oh, they didn't go there, but you know what you're thinking in your head. Risque. That's it. Thank you. And that's the vibe they've created. Bunny murder. So what vibe are you creating as a seller? What is it that your people know they're going to get with you when they come to see you, right? That's your brand voice. That vibe, that brand voice you're using is how you're talking. We're going to talk about language when we get to talking about the show. But it's your titles, your thumbnails is your brand voice, okay? Thumbnails, let's talk about those. You should always have your logo or your name consistently shown in your thumbnails every single time. What you want is when somebody is scrolling, let me do another giveaway real quick before I forget. All right, another giveaway is a Halloween postcard. It's my last day to give these away. Y'all, you're going to get postcards. Okay. So thumbnails, you want your logo to be shown. When somebody's scrolling, we want that instant recognition. If you are doing a thumbnail, yours is not boring. Okay, Southern Charm, I don't think yours is boring at all. I know exactly what yours looks like, and I search for it. The other time that logos become very important, not just on thumbnails, when you're trying to tag somebody in the chat, what happens, right? You start to type them. And if I start to type, let's just take Southern Charm as an example. I know what her logo looks like so much. I've seen it so many times that I know exactly my mind is looking for the S in there, right? If you start to tag somebody in the chat and I start to type Southern right now, there's going to be a whole list of names that start with Southern. What is my mind doing? I'm not just looking for Southern_charm. I don't want to type it out. I'm always looking for that thumbnail, which is usually a logo, right? You're always looking for that. That's where the consistency comes in. That's that brand recognition. Good morning, Hyperfixated Mama. How are you today? So using your logo on your thumbnail only helps create that recognition. Thumbnails, this is probably, people are going to disagree. The Woven Basket looks for thumbnails also. Yeah, we all do. Whether we realize that we do or not, that's how our brains work. It's easier to assimilate a picture than it is to read words. It just is. We as humans, we tend to be very visual beings just by nature. Thumbnails. I am of the belief, and not everybody, this is my opinion, that your thumbnail should remain pretty much consistent, that they shouldn't be a absolutely different picture all the time. Now, I've experimented with this a lot on my own. I have come to now pretty much a consistent thumbnail for probably 99% of what I do. Raid trains are exception. Those are special ones that represent a train. But they should be very consistent. Let's think about Green 13. Could everybody, if you just stop for a second, did the Green 13 logo just pop into your head the minute I said that, their name, right? And you know what it looks like. Crick and Nick's favorite finds is raiding with a party of 3. Thank you so much for bringing your friends over. Hello, everybody. My name's Tracy. This is Zoe's Treasures. Today we are doing a chat show. We're talking about branding. So please join us. Jump on into that giveaway. And Crick's and Nick's, please. Crick and Nick's favorite finds. I'll say it right one of these days. Please go ahead while this is playing. Put into the chat when your next show is and what you sell so people can follow you.
Grab your hats and step into Zoe's Treasures, where the relics aren't cursed. They are for sale.
All right, we have Hyperfixated Mama says, I use the same theme thumbnail. I believe it helps with, it does. Oops, wait, it went up. My buyers know it isn't my show when they see, no, and they know it is your show when they see the neon. Exactly. But I'm not creative, so I don't. If you're not, Christelle's, first of all, I love your logo because I recognize it now. You've used it for long enough that I instantly recognize it. I don't think you guys have to be super creative. There's Canva, there's all kinds of AI programs out there to help you design something. I'm not the most creative person. I can copy things really good, or I can like see bits and pieces and pull it together. But use AI if you can't, if you feel that you're not super creative. And Canva makes it really easy. Now the only like word of warning I have for Canva. So I did Canva at the very beginning. I still use Canva, but I did a very like generic one, and I used it for like a year and a half, about a year, a little over a year, built up branding around that. And because I took a generic one and I didn't customize it, I didn't make it mine. It's free. It's out there. Anybody can use it. And I did have another seller, actually a couple sellers, but there was one in particular who used that exact same logo and just changed the name. And to the point where I had somebody who is familiar with me, who's somebody I consider a friend on whatnot, message me. They're like, hey, I went into this person's show. I thought it was yours. Like, I recognized the logo instantly without reading words and popped in there because I just saw the picture. I ended up having to rebrand. That was my choice. Nobody made me do it, but I rebranded because of that. So if you are using Canva, my only advice, just from personal experience, is to take the standard ones and change it up to make it yours, like really personalize it. Completely Thrifted, you just won that giveaway. Congratulations. All right, every time you win a giveaway, that's your treat. You get a trick in the form of bad life or whatnot advice for today. So here we go. Your bad advice for your trick is sleep is for people who don't have caffeine. So don't worry about sleep. There you go. All right. Let's see if I'm missing any questions. My thumbnails are 100% consistent. Are 100% consistent. Not sure. I think that's good. If your thumbnails are 100% consistent, I think it's good. Who needs sleep? Sleep's overrated. So I forget where I was going, but putting your logo on your thumbnail and then using thumbnails that are exactly the same or very similar. I've kind of settled on, I have a very white, simple, easy to identify thumbnail, and I just change out the middle. And sometimes if I'm doing free shipping or dollar starts, whatever, maybe I'll put that on the bottom. But other than that, they're pretty much the same. People are going to start to see, oh, that's Zoe's Treasures. That's Zoe's Treasures. So the name of the show, I'll put in what I'm selling, whether it's Primitive Blue and White Farmhouse. That's the only part that changes on my logos, or not my logos, sorry, my thumbnails. But you don't sell on here yet. If you are a buyer, I don't think the logo or the thumbnail, well, the thumbnail obviously when applied to you, if you're not selling, you're not creating shows. But the minute you become a seller, all of that becomes very important because every piece of this creates that vibe that we're trying to create. The next thing I want to talk about that creates your vibe is your bio. And I'm going to turn a lot of people off on this, and I'm not saying this intentionally. Almost nobody cares when they read your bio, how many kids you have, what you do, what your hobbies are, all those personal details, how many animals you have is not the most important part of your bio. If you want to include it because you want to bring that personal element to your bio, that's wonderful. Put it at the bottom. People, we're going to read, it's like an email, right? When you get an email, what do? You read the subject line, and then you decide if you're going to open the email or not, or actually read it. We skim stuff. Let's see, I always look for there you go, the X, where it really stands out. I'm sorry, Southern Charm. They don't require talking. Yes. It's easier when it doesn't require talking. The talking's the hard part. Put what you sell, put the pertinent information at the top, what you sell, when you're on, what people want to know. People want to know when they can find you, what are they going to find when they get there, and use that to create your vibe. Then put the personal stuff. There you guys waiting. I was going to say, Southern Charm always says bullet points. Absolutely. Put it in bullet points. People do not want to sit there and read 2 or 3 paragraphs. You're going to lose them. They're almost never going to get through to the end. If I open up a bio, I want to know quickly what you sell, when you're going to be on. Maybe if you have like a motto or something like that you always say. We're going to talk about language in a minute. Put that on there. All the other information is just, it's extra. That's the bottom information. That's like, if they want to stay, then they can read that. They're going to learn about you're a mom or you're a grandma or your dogs or whatever. They're going to learn about that by coming to your shows and you being personable and chatting with people. That's it, Kimmy. Thank you. It is noise. It's just too much going on. You want to hit them very quickly. When you go to any website and think about the major retailers, go to their websites. There's always like an about us or about the company page. And it's usually very quick hits. Like when you first open the page, like, I don't know, I keep using Target, but pick any major retail, Nike or Under Armour. When you first go to their website, it is what they sell. There's pictures of what they sell. There is at the top, it may have a couple of categories for you. It might say shoes, clothing. It's very condensed. You get a very quick, easy feel on what's going on. Then there's always an about me or an about the company link that you can go to that talks about the history or the structure or whatever else. But that's not the first thing that comes up. There's a reason for that. People don't read it. Okay? Anybody who's sold online on any other site or even on Whatnot when you're selling in the marketplace knows that your pictures are important because what? Pictures and titles. People don't read descriptions because you can put in your description that something is 3 inches by 5 inches and, you know, all these details, and you're still going to get people sending you questions going, how big is it? Right? Because we don't read. Okay. The other thing on your bio, the banner at the top should match. That banner should be a vibe. That should fit in with whatever you're trying to create. The banner, it should not be a picture of your dogs unless you're selling dog food or dog products. It should be something like your logo or something that enforces that vibe that you're trying to create. Here's the other thing you might want to put in your bio. And this is one that maybe a lot of people haven't thought about. Besides your tagline or your bullet points of what you sell or when your shows are on, what about the emoji you use? Emojis are big on Whatnot. A lot of people will use them. Hey, put butterflies in the chat or put hearts in the chat or put whatever in the chat, which is totally cool. It's a common theme on Whatnot. And when we raid people, we say, hey, everybody, put flowers in the chat when you get there. So what is your emoji? If you have one, put that in your bio. Why? We want to link. We want to create that mental connection through everything we do. Same colors, same fonts, same emojis. We're picking what is defining us and we're using it everywhere, right? So how about the schedule of your shows? And this is what I'm trying, this is the actual schedule, the day and time doesn't tie quite into your brand. But I'm trying to figure out how the best way to say this. The titles that you're using, you can use your scheduling to help enforce that brand voice and that brand feel. So earlier I said in the title, if I want to create something cozy, I might do something like vintage finds and cozy vibes as a title, right? Well, what if I refine that and I do a show on Monday and I call it Cozy Corner Mondays, and I consistently am on every Monday. So now people are going to start associating Cozy Corner Mondays with Zoe's Treasures and start getting that cozy vibe, that cozy feel, and I'm reinforcing to come and see me on Mondays. So you can take different elements of this and merge them together to create even a stronger brand voice. Put the name of the day. And I like that. It helps you really start to tie in. And I've noticed that it'll be like, well, you do really fun names. I love discounts, but like I can't even think of a good one. Earrings on Monday, but it's a lot catchier than that, way catchier. Tuesday Foods Day, there you go. What does that tell you? You know instantly, oh, if I want food, because I Love Discounts sells food, health and beauty, and jewelry. But oh, if I want food, go on Tuesday. So this is what I mean about tying your brand voice, and it's fun, it's cutesy, it's their kind of vibe into your show titles, but also helping reinforce that scheduling. All of this is strategic. None of it, at first, we're just haphazard. I'm almost guaranteed 100% of it, let's say 99% of us are haphazard at first on Whatnot. And usually these things start to kind of meld together as we grow. But Eventually, as sellers, we should all get to the point where this is all strategic. The colors you're using, the fonts you're using, how you're naming your shows, the days you're having your shows, the times you're having your shows, and how to bring that together should ultimately completely be strategic and thought out in nature. Tony's mom said, oh, okay. And when I say I had my notes here is be intentional about it. So strategic, be intentional about what you're doing. When you think about a retail establishment, a brick and mortar, nothing is haphazard. They don't send flyers out in the mail, or they don't post certain things on their website, or they don't send emails haphazardly. They send them on specific days to enforce either, trying to meet specific strategic plans. It's all thought through. It's all very intentional. Everything they do is a thought through step. Now, I don't say this to scare you off, like, I just want to sell stuff. I don't, I don't want to have to deal with all this other stuff. You don't have to. But if you really want to grow your business and turn this into a brand, a recognizable brand, this is some of the stuff you probably should start to consider, is the intentional strategic planning of everything you do. Because the pictures you use sends a message. The titles you use sends a message. What do you want that message to be? How do you want people to feel when they see that? My plan is to go pure business mode. There you go. See, previously mentioned it, and we all grow. I'm learning and changing every day too. I don't come here as an expert to you. I come here bringing my experience. That does not mean that I am not still growing and changing and learning. And maybe a year from now, I'll be doing another branding one and have completely different ideas. How can you reach out to your followers about upcoming shows? Thrifty Deb, use social media. I would say absolutely use social media, use the thumbnails, use your show titles. Your followers will let you know. When you're in shows, talk about it. This is probably a very hard thing to do for most people. I know it was hard for me to do, is to promote myself. Is when I'm having a show to say, hey, go up here, click on my name, bookmark my shows, follow me. That's kind of hard to do for people. Most of us were brought up, and don't be self-centered, don't talk about yourself. That all changes the minute you get on Whatnot. Guess what? You get to be self-centered and you get to talk about yourself to an extent. It is okay. Now, if I just sit here and I am just so wonderful. No. Yeah, you don't do that. People are going to get sick and tired of that. But it's okay to say, hey, check out my shows. If you like what you see, please bookmark it. I hope to see you there. You have to remind people. They're not going to do it automatically. A lot of times people are watching Whatnot while they're shipping, while they're doing dishes, while they have a kid running around. Maybe there's a crying baby in the background. There's so many reasons. You need to remind people, and they're like, oh, wait, you know what? I do like this person. I've been enjoying them for the last hour. Let me go bookmark some of their upcoming shows. Yes, I am not social media savvy either. So I don't do a lot. Well, I don't want to say savvy. I understand it. I don't do a lot on it. Mine's a time issue more so than anything else. But if you're not on social media, which I don't think it's 100% necessary, I think it helps. I think tremendously. If you are on social media, you're probably growing a little bit faster because you're using more avenues to reach more people. If you are not on social media, I still think that's okay. I do feel the growth will be slower. And for me, I've accepted that. I do very little on social media, like 10%. But you can promote yourself through Whatnot on your shows. Talk about what's going on. Chat shows have become very popular. As I sit here, in my own chat show telling you this, chat shows have become very popular, and they don't have to be all seller support. If you don't feel that you're experienced enough in either Whatnot or some other topic to give a seller support or a buyer support show, you can do a chat show. You can be, everybody come in, let's just have some coffee and talk about our day. There's a lot of those shows, and they're fun to be around. That's a form of promotion. I text my shows to all my friends and family in your phone. There you go. And I think that's great. Good morning, Old Maid New Creations. I think it's wonderful to text in your phone. Do not spam. Do not send a show to every single person on Whatnot. Honestly, when I get them, I ignore them. Unless I know you, unless I've built some rapport with you, I'm probably not looking at that message. If I Love Discounts, Crystal's Vintage Collection, Old Maid New Creations, these are people that I have some rapport with, and they'd sent me their show, I would probably, and not just them, there's other people here. I can't name everybody. But if I have a rapport with you, I will probably look at that show and be like, oh, that's really cool. But if I don't know you from Adam, I'm not looking at that. And a lot of people feel the same way. I have my phone in my car, the car seat plan. I do too. Oh, the woven basket all the time. My Whatnot has replaced, for the most part, TV and radio for me. I love discounts. Exactly. The only way we, again, meet people, I agree with you, is through chat, being introduced, stumbling upon somebody, which is always fun. Okay, so that's before the show. We're talking about everything we can do before the show. Let me run another giveaway. Let's run another treat here for Halloween. Okay, that is up and going. It is another Halloween postcard. Let's talk about during the show. What are we trying to create during the show? So before the show, just to recap, we're creating anticipation and brand recognition. That's what's happening before the show. During the show, it's personality and experience. This is what kind of brings that vibe together. This is the big package, is during the show, right? We've set up that anticipation. We got the good thumbnail. They know who we are. We've used consistent branding. We had good show titles, and now they're here. We got them here. What are we doing once we get them here? To encourage our brand. How about a signature intro and outro? What do you do to start and end your show? Let's think about not virtual life, but real life. I get anxiety too still. I mean, sometimes I'm a little more relaxed, but there's certain times that I'm like, but let's think about real life. When you go to the movies, or even if you watch a movie on Netflix, what's the first thing that comes up on the movies? It used to be, I don't know the new ones now, Warner Brothers, MC or MGM. You have the whatever the production company's logo is, and you begin to expect that, right? You begin to expect that lion coming up on the screen for the MGM at the beginning of a movie. And then at the end, what do we see at the end? Credits. It's the same. There's a format. There's an intro and an outro. Tony rambles. That's right. We know first 15 minutes of I Love Discounts is going to be Talk with Tony. What do you do? What's your intro and your outro? Good night, Irene. There you go. You end with the song I for Beauty. I've never heard you sing. I need to be at the end of one of your shows now. We do graphics. So we have the same beginning and ending graphic, either for a chat show or for a selling show. Well, you don't have to have graphics. What do you say? A lot of times too, when my show starts, hello, everybody, welcome in. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy. We're a husband and wife team. My husband, Noel's behind the scenes running our cameras. That's kind of my standard. You should have something your people come to expect, or new people are like, oh, 60? What's 60? Oh. Okay. I for Beauty, I just got a perfume bottle in that I want to show you. It was really cool. Okay. So what are you doing before, at the beginning of your show? What's your opening? This was difficult for me. When I would start a show, at the very beginning, when I was on my phone, you're setting your phone up and then you're pressing, start live, and then you're like, is it right? And you've got that fumbling moment, right? It happens to all of us. You get that fumbling moment. Let's put that aside and then say, okay, then what are you doing? Are we, hi, everybody, welcome in? Or is it like, okay, hey, I'm getting stuff ready. I've seen people at the beginning of shows, they hit play and they're just over here setting stuff up. How does that look when somebody comes into your show and you're not even like, there's no opening, there's nothing to start the show with? Do you do announcements at the beginning of your show? You don't have to. What is it that you do? Find something. I ask if your video and sound is okay. Yep. If I see somebody just fumbling around and to me, it tells me they haven't given thought into starting a show. When somebody walks into your, hopefully they're not just walking in, but when somebody knocks on your door, do you just open your door and wander off? Or do you open the door and say, hello? That's an intro, right? So think about it. And then the same thing on the end. I start the show the same way. It's become a thing. People, Aaron, yeah, absolutely. People come to expect this. Let's give it to them. It's the vibe. You're creating a vibe. A brand is just a vibe, right? It's how you're going to make somebody feel. How are they going to find you? How are you going to make them feel? How are you going to make them come back and see you again? What about your outro? What happens when you're leaving the show? I'm using Green 13 a lot today just because he does a lot of this stuff very well. What is his happy, until I see you again, happy bidding, everybody. He says that when he leaves. And he also says, okay, we're going to do a random raid. If you like them, I get all the credit. If you don't, remember what, not pick them. What do you say? That for me, I'm still kind of trying to find what I say at the end of the show. Hope to see you soon. Check out my shows if you like what you see. Please, come back and see me. Hope to see you next week, type of thing. And then I'm thankful I have my husband to do an outro for me on graphics. But make it the same. Pick what's yours and what creates that vibe. Homestead Honey Hole, you got that giveaway. All right, with every treat today, we also have a trick in the form of either bad life or whatnot advice. I wrote a bunch of them out here. Let's see. You are going to get, this is your bad whatnot advice trick. Bid first. Check your bank account later. Future you will handle it. That's your bad whatnot advice. That is your trick with that treat. Okay. Next one. Your backdrop. This is your environment. This is your vibe. What vibe are you trying to create? Are you trying to create, I'm going to seduce my items on my bed vibe? Are you trying to create, upscale antique store? Are you trying to make it look like they've walked into an antique booth? Or are you putting, if you're a clothing seller, are they walking into a high-end clothing store? Are they walking into Walmart? What is that vibe? Make sure whatever's behind you, I was hearing the voice in your head. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. I do that way too much. I think it's bad advice, but I bid before I check my bank account. Not the best thing ever. What's behind you? It doesn't have to be fancy. I heard, who was it? A Reworker's Passion, I think she said this. I hope I'm getting it right. She's talking about, you could put a shower curtain. You could hang a pretty floral shower curtain or a solid color shower curtain behind you. Nobody's going to know it's a shower curtain, but it gives you a nice, simple backdrop. Nobody wants to see your bed. Nobody wants to see your messy clothes hamper in your closet. Definitely people don't want to see your pets crawling all over the product. That's going to turn a lot of people off. I frequently, if you've been in my shows, I talk about there is a seller on here that gives me the creeps because their house is like a hoarder house and I cannot watch their shows. Every time I see it, I just get grossed out. So what is behind you? That's part of your vibe. That's part of what you're creating. That's part of your brand. Is there a sign? I can't think of their name. Oh my gosh. They sell candy. Two women, awesome sellers. They were on the raid train last night. Why is their name? It's Sweet something. I wish I can think of their name. It'll come to me in probably 5 minutes. But they always have a sign up behind them. So do you have a sign with your Sugar Hill Market? Thank you so much. I knew somebody would get it. Sugar Hill Market. They have a sign. They've actually, because there's two, I don't know if they're friends or cousins. I have not watched enough to know. But two women in different locations, and they've actually set up their backdrops to be as close to identical as they possibly can get them. So sometimes you don't even know whose home that they are filming from or they're coming to you from. They've created a vibe, right? And they've created a consistent vibe in two different locations because that's branding. Because they want their viewers, their people in their chat, their supporters to feel the same no matter whose show they're coming into because they're two people that work together under the same account. I went into one and no one on camera but heard kids being screamed at. Is that the vibe you want? I mean, do we really want that? So again, intentional, be intentional. It doesn't have to be super fancy. I have two cabinets I got off Facebook Marketplace for like, I don't know, 25, 50 bucks a piece, stuck them together and there's my backdrop. It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to spend $1 million on it. And along with that, very easy, obviously, you guys are already thinking, your lighting. What kind of lighting do you have? Do you want spooky, creepy? It's Halloween. Maybe we're doing a spooky, creepy show. Fundamentals last night had the creepiest, Oh my God, I literally had to swipe it off the screen. I could not watch him. I knew I would have bad dreams. Um, oh, okay. Lucky, I will mention, I'm not going to say that exactly, but yes. But it was so creepy. It was dark, which was perfect. It created the vibe, the mood, the scariness. It was Halloween costume contest. He created the perfect vibe for the show that he was in. But do we want to sell in the dark? Not really. We're not creating mystery with our items, right? So make sure your lighting is good, but make sure it supports your vibe that you're trying to do. If you are funky, I'm selling hippie clothing. I'm selling t-shirts from, the 60s, a very like tie-dyed, like I'm going for a vibe. Maybe I want some psychedelic lights going on. If I'm selling vintage decor that people want to know if there's chips or cracks or whatever else, we want as much light on that as possible to try to show that. Scary but effective. Oh my gosh, yes. So lighting matters. And what I put under lighting, are you in Dollar General, where it's kind of like maybe that light on that aisle works, but this one's out? Are you in Louis Vuitton? Which vibe are you going for, right? Sometimes I have good lights. All the times I have nice, relaxing light. Yeah. There's my husband. Well, good morning, mi amor. Okay, sound. And before I do sound, let's run another giveaway. We're running another treat. This one is a bird postcard. I love my bird postcards. We're getting to the end of them, though, so there's not that many left. This is number 4. That giveaway's up and going. Okay, sound. Are you in a spa? Are you in a roller rink? We've all been in there where it's too loud, too much, too noisy. People are yelling over it. Hopefully you can still hear it going on, Halloween music today because it's Halloween. We're doing trick-or-treats for our giveaways, so I'm trying to create a little bit of a Halloween vibe, right? How's your sound going? And I'm not going to expand. I'm going to talk a lot about sound because I think we've all heard this over and over again, but that matters. Somebody in the chat just mentioned they heard kids screaming in the background. Is there kids? Is there dogs? Look, a lot of us do this from our homes. There's natural noises that are happening in our homes. Kids are not going to be absolutely quiet every time you go on a show, but you can schedule your show at times that make more sense, nap time, before they get up, after they go to bed, right? You can do things to control some of the noise around you. This was a long time ago, maybe a year ago. I remember there was a seller that I would watch, and I loved their items. I loved their personality, but they would film from the kitchen. Well, it looked like there was a kitchen and then like a eating area, like a breakfast nook or something. So they were like in the breakfast nook area, but every single show, without a doubt, you heard somebody cooking in the kitchen behind them. And it wasn't just cooking. It was banging pots and pans, stirring stuff, hearing the microwave beep. It was very distracting to try to listen to the show when that's all you're hearing in the background. Yeah, things happen sometimes. I totally agree, Cynthia's. Packing tape, oh my God. I can't watch shows where people are packing and talking. I just can't. The tape sound, I am very sensitive. There's a term for it where like sounds bother you. So there's certain noises, and maybe I'm oversensitive to this, but if there's fire alarms going off in the background, especially the kids or dogs barking, I'm not going to stay in the show. Just be aware of it. Even things such as your washing machine. Are you in the room right next to it and all you hear is, that washing machine going over and over again? I'm not saying that you have to eliminate every single noise, but be aware of what noises are there and how it could turn off people. So, and that also goes into that vibe that you're creating. When you go into Louis Vuitton, there's usually some very chill music. It's pretty faint in the background, but you may not even really consciously like pick up on the music, but it's there, and subconsciously it's giving you this relaxed, upscale, classy feeling, right? Let's see, the old lady's attic says, crinkling bags, yes. That's a bad one. Eating chips, yeah, I can't do any of the eating noises. If somebody's eating, sometimes I can handle it if it's not like a crunchy or a very loud thing. If you're chewing gum on your show, I'm out. I don't like chewing gum at all anyways. I'm out. smacking, all of that stuff. I have to do my shows outside. It's difficult. Sometimes you can hear the wind blowing or thunder booming. So if you're outside, if the element you're creating is a nature element, Natural State of High does this beautifully. A lot of her shows are done sitting outside. We've come to expect that. We've come to enjoy that. It's almost to me anyways, I love the outdoors. It's a very relaxing element. Use it to your advantage. If the only place that you can be is outside and there are nature noises, use it to your advantage. As long as the dog isn't barking consistently to where it's an annoying, distraction, every now and then if the dog barks, turn it into a game. Oh, the dog barked, it's time to do a giveaway. Oh, the dog barked, guess what? We're running that for $1. Make a game with it. Have a joke ready every time the dog barks. So if that's your only place and you do know that there's stuff that you can't control, how can you bring it as a part of your show to make it almost feel like it's intentional? I know I'm missing chat here. Let me scroll down and just get caught up. I love discounts. You're thinking about stopping music. Why is that? Oh, look at that. I didn't mod my own husband. Let's see. Give me a second. Let me mod my husband here. All right, there we go. Music to me, my personal opinion, and of course I say this having a husband who's a techie guy. We run it through a system where it comes through pretty clearly. Baby girls, you got that treat. And with every treat today, we are also doing a trick in the form of bad advice. So let's see here. I'm just going to pick one of these. Your bad advice. Your bad life advice for Halloween day. Carve your pumpkin with a chainsaw. Efficiency over accuracy. There's your bad advice. That's your trick. Just be aware of, if you are playing music on your Echo or Alexa device, it can come through very staticky and it doesn't sound clear. On the other side, normally it doesn't sound clear. Because music taste is selective, we are limiting our potential buyer pool, not to mention most of it is copyrighted. There you go. That's a big thing too. There are sites, we use Spotify, but there's other music services that all you have to do is search royalty-free music, and you can get music that you can legally use in your shows. But I Love Discounts makes a good point. Some people just hate country music. I love country music. Some people can't stand it. And if they come into my show, they may be the biggest vintage buyer ever, and they hate country music. And they come into my show, they could be out. So your music taste doesn't necessarily transfer to everybody else. Make sure your music is supporting your vibe. That's kind of, I think, the key point here. And make sure that it's at a volume that you're not yelling over it. There we go. Yeah, Peep says loud music is so distracting. And be you. Okay, what's next? Language. So this is where what I was talking about earlier, your brand voice. Do you have a catchphrase? Is there something that you say all the time? Do you refer to your chat as chat? Or do you say y'all? Or hey friends? Friends is a big one I hear on Whatnot quite frequently. Or hello everybody. What is your way of addressing people? What are your catchphrases? Is there something you say in every show? Aaron Sphere, Aaron at the Aaron Sphere, looka. He says looka. I know when I go in there, I'm going to hear looka. And it makes me smile because I know I'm waiting for it when I go into his show. Do any of you have catchphrases? What do you want? Do not make it eye for beauty. Okay, just don't make your catchphrase. What do you want? What can I show you? What do you want to see? Yeah, Tony now says looka too. Looka here. Yep. But what is it that people are going to remember you by? What's your catchphrase? Catchphrases, again, remember, we only have two. We have visual and we have hearing. It's the only senses that us as Whatnot sellers have. We also have words and stuff, but again, that's visual. You're reading. So you can hear and see. Those are the senses we use to communicate. When you're in a store, there's many other, I forget where I was going with this. There's many other ways for them to communicate. So what we say and what they see is more important than some of the times, like when you're in a retail store, some of that isn't as strong as what we're doing. So our catchphrases help people remember us, right? Again, I'm going to use Green 13. Let's see, Green 13, every time he gets a raid, I can almost say it. I wrote it down, but I can almost say it by heart. Thank you, Bob, for the raid. You, and only you alone can put what you sell and when your next show is in the chat. So what are your catchphrases? What makes you stand out? How do your catchphrases help with your vibe? When somebody wins something, do you say, you've just got another cool, cozy vintage find? What if we're going with that cozy theme, right? We talked about a cozy theme earlier. How do I bring my theme or my vibe into what I am saying? Can say it by heart, but I almost saying it in my shows. Yeah, exactly. I have to stop myself sometimes because I get so used to hearing other people say something that I'm not trying to copy, but you just get so used to hearing what they say that you start to say it. My followers know your catchphrase is back ends. It's a joke that was created by all the viewers in the first shows. And that's it. And people come to expect it. They come to, it forms a sense of camaraderie. It makes people feel welcomed because they're like, oh, I'm going to go in, I'm going to hear this. All right. When you go into a show and you hear something familiar, it gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling, right? You may not be sitting there going, oh, that felt so good. Like, you're not doing that. But having something that's familiar, it's like somebody saying your name. It catches your attention. You feel like you belong. You feel part of, because when you hear Green 13 say, thank you, Bob, for the raid. You and you alone can put your show in the chat, however he says that. A sense of belonging. Yeah, it makes you want to stay there. You're part of something bigger than yourself. We, by nature, as humans, crave social interaction. Now, I know I say that as an introvert who in my real life, do not hang around a lot of people. But it is a basic instinct in every single human to crave some social interaction and to belong. All of this helps create that sense of belonging, which creates a sense of comfort and makes people want to stay and come back to your shows. 100% everybody wants to be included. So what are your catchphrases? Think about that. The other thing is, and we'll get to this. Did I put it in here? Oh, branding moments during the show. Do you have anything you do during your show that's not just something you say, but that's a branding moment? And I'm going to use Green 13 again, because y'all, if you're not watching him, this is just my shows. I should have just titled it a Green 13 commercial today. But go, I have learned so much. He takes a lot of these concepts, and I didn't come up with them, but he takes these business concepts and he applies them so well and so seamlessly in his show. So we're talking about a branding moments during your show. So something that he does, he'll be like, okay, we're going to do, what does he call it? S10, sudden death, 5S10. We're going to do 5S10. Everybody who's in his show for a while knows that 5 second sudden death. Every now and then it'll be, okay, 5 second sudden death time. This is a moment he creates. This is, okay, we're going to get through a pile of something very quickly. Not only is it something that's become expected as a specific branding moment that he does in his shows, it's also then there's other psychological elements with the timing and stuff that we're not talking about today. Marketing. Yes. Marketing. So what is your moments? What are you doing? Maybe you have, I put a couple of ideas. Maybe you have a mystery minute. Maybe once in every show, you're doing a mystery minute where you're selling something that's a mystery item, or I don't know. Maybe you're doing a treasure trivia. You're going to do one thing every show. What is your moments in your show that your people come to expect? I Love Discounts made a joke about it at the beginning. It's time to wake everyone up. Yep, that's a saying that we hear in his shows all the time in Green 13. I Love Discounts said Tony talks for 15 minutes at the beginning of every show. That's talk time with Tony. We come to expect that. People who go to these shows tune in at the very beginning to get their talk time with Tony. What are you doing that people start to crave and want to come to your shows for? What is it that those moments that you're creating. And it's not just selling. This isn't what I'm referring to is not selling. It is a branded thing that you do that's special for you. And it doesn't have to be obnoxious or over the top. It could be something very 15 minutes is short. Yes. People bet on when he's going to start. So it could be something very short, very sweet. But what is it that's yours? And that's what's going to set us apart. Because I'll tell you what, basically we're all the same on Whatnot, right? We're all people selling something. End of the day, how do we stand apart? How are we different from each other? For us, ours is graphics. That's our thing. Now, other people do graphics too, but we do graphics in a certain way. That's us. That's what people come to expect when they're in our show. They want to see some hearts, or they want to see some leaves falling, or something like that, right? Is it going to work? There we go. So,
thank you.
Welcome to the House of Coop. Exactly. That's their thing, right? That's part of their language that they use. Every time they make a first sale or first purchase, when somebody makes a first purchase, welcome to the House of Coop. This is what I'm talking about. So you guys are hearing it. What's yours? Think about it. What are you doing? And I can almost guarantee you're probably doing something you don't even realize. Go back and watch your shows. What's your catchphrase? There's something that you say because it's you, because it's just your personality coming out. And then signature accessories. Does anybody have signature accessories? Could be earrings, like could be true accessories. Yes, you have to rewatch your shows, as painful as they are. The Aaron sphere is nails. Yep, there you go. You're always looking for his nails. I'm trying to think. Certain people will have glasses. The Red Rooster is her glasses. Farm LLC is all that big brooch flower board behind her. I'm usually wearing some type of a My Vibe is Vintage shirt, so it could be your clothing. What makes it you? What's that branding that's yours? Natural State of High tries to wear a hat. So and same with Rewired, not Retired. So there's something that your supporters, when they come into your show, are looking for or come to expect that helps create your vibe, right? Inspire State, I use them as an example sometimes. They used to, I don't know if they still do, but a show at the end of the month, and it's more of this upscale show, and she dresses up. She'll put on glittery, like, I don't know necessarily ball gowns, but fancy dresses and beautiful makeup and the hair done just right. Because you know what? She's selling higher price items. She's creating a vibe. How is what you're wearing or your accessories adding to your feel, to your vibe? That's branding. You're branding you now, which you are your business in this sense here. Pink t-shirt with your logo. So these are the things people come to expect and helps them remember you by. Remember, during our show, we're creating personality and experience. What's the experience? You know, every time you go shopping, if you walk into Claire's, that little earring place in the mall, you kind of know how it's going to smell, what that vibe that you're going to walk into, what you're going to see, what you're going to hear. When you walk into Hot Topic, it's a very different feel, right? You hear different things, you smell different things, you feel a different way. When you walk into Abercrombie, you about faint because of the boys' locker room cologne smell, but you know what you're going to get, right? You know what that smell is, what the vibe, it's dark. It smells like, I think they're trying to sell like sexy teenage boy. I don't know. Wait, no, that didn't come out right. No, scratch that. That did not sound good. I'm talking about Abercrombie. So what is the vibe that you're trying to create by using sight and sound? Because those are the only two we have. We don't have smell. It gives me a headache too. I can't go in there. Let's see. Do you think it's better to show your face if you sell jewelry? Sandra, I think you should show your face at least at the beginning and at the end. And if there's spots in the middle where you can connect with your audience, yes, absolutely. I know people, like, I didn't show my face at the very beginning. There will be a difference in the growth of your business by connecting. This is a social app. And having that face-to-face connection will help grow your business. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. So the signature accessories, that's what the last one is. All right, so let's recap. Before the show, we're building anticipation and recognition. During the show, it's about the experience. And then after the show, we're creating retention and loyalty. This is where we get that brand to stick and grow. So we're creating retention and loyalty after the show. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, okay, the show's over. How am I branding after the show? What am I doing? You're packing. How is your packing? I'm not talking about, are you using sufficient amount of bubble wrap? What does your package look like? Are you using a box that's been used 50 million times and probably should not be used again? Is that the image you want to give? Are you using maybe colored tissue paper? And by no means am I saying go out and spend a fortune on special packaging supplies. But you should give some thought to this before you start selling, or if you're already selling, maybe just kind of rethink through what you're doing as far as how is what you're doing on the back end supporting all this work you've been putting into it on the front end and during your show. So some people, especially with clothing, will use very pretty colored wrapping paper and make sure they package it nicely. They fold it up, make it look like they're getting, this fancy shirt wrapped up in tissue paper. Logo sticker on the boxes. Perfect example, Southern Charm. Have the followers, but nothing in shows or bookmarks. So what can I do? Stay consistent. Thrifty Deb, stay consistent. Part of what you're doing now is being social in chats, getting people to become familiar with you, your name, your logo, and then be consistent. If you find that you continue to do show after show after show and nobody shows up, or they're coming and going so fast, then you need to take a hard look at it. And I don't say this to be mean. If you give it sufficient time, and I'm not talking 1 or 2 shows, it could be up to 10 or 11 shows, or even a little bit more, and you find that you cannot maintain an audience to save your life, you need to look at yourself and what's going on in your shows. Rewatch your shows. Is your pricing good? Is your lighting good? Is your environment good? What is the vibe you're creating? There is a reason. And I'm not talking one show, because we all have off bad shows. But if you have a long period, and you cannot keep anybody in your show, you need to go and figure out why. And 9 times out of 10 is going to be price, your items, your environment. It's going to be one of those things. And your environment includes you and how you talk to your chat, how you talk to your supporters, whatever is going on. So I wouldn't freak out about it after 1 or 2 shows. But again, if it's consistent over a decent amount of time, there's a reason why they're not there. And it's up to you as a seller to figure out that reason and fix it. How you talk to your kids. LVB Thrift, thank you so much. If you ever do want to rewatch my shows, y'all, you can go to YouTube. I put it up there. So no need to buy anything. Go up there anytime, rewatch them. Don't know why people want to go watch my stuff on YouTube, but people do. They really do. It like surprises me every time. My husband's like, that video got X number of views. I'm like, really? Okay. So packaging, stickers are your name on the box. Southern Charm said that, here's all you have to do. I'm going to make this super easy for you. Natural State of High, she was in here earlier. I don't know if she's still here. If someone can tag her, honey, if you're here modding for me, you are. Can you tag Natural State of High? Or if you're here, Zodi, put your name in there. I can make this really easy for you. Go to Natural State of High. Her prices are very reasonable. She creates the best stickers ever, particularly stickers for sellers. She does stickers for everything, but she'll do stickers a lot for sellers. I can almost guarantee you, if you have bought something on Whatnot, you have probably already seen her stickers on your box and you just didn't know they were from her. You do, yeah. Eventually you end up knowing that they're from her, like you can start to recognize them. She makes it super easy and the prices are super reasonable. If you don't feel like you're creative enough or don't have the technology or don't have whatever, all you really need is a thermal printer for a basic sticker. But you want something a little more cooler, go see Natural State of High. Absolutely easy to do, get your stickers from her. But a sticker, put something on the outside of the box that says who you are. I almost never send something out without a Zoe's Treasure sticker on that box. The minute that it drops it off in front of your door, you're going to see my name. All right, brand yourself. People need to see that name over and over and over again. Also, you're creating anticipation. You're making that connection when they get that box to how they felt in your show. If you put all this time and effort to create a vibe for your show, okay? People come in, they feel good, they're like, yeah, I like this. I bought this. What happens when you buy something? You get a rush, right? Those endorphins kick up in your system. There's a rush from buying something. You buy something. Then when they ship it and you open your front door and you see that Zoe's Treasure sticker, I want that sight of that sticker to have those endorphins. I want you to feel like, oh yeah, I remember when I got that cool thing. You're making that connection. You're branding from the beginning. They start seeing your logo. They get excited. They come to your show. They buy something. They get those endorphins going. And then they get their package. They see your name again and they bring those feelings all the way back. We are selling feelings here. Like at the end of the day, it's how people feel. We want to make sure that good feeling they had in your show. Thank you, Mary Lack. They have that good feeling when they get your package. So logos on the box, stickers on the boxes, using different colored paper. Remember I said at the very beginning, we want consistent colors, fonts, and like themes in what we're doing. We want to match like our logo. We're creating a brand, a vibe, a feeling. So if mine is pretty much kind of like the yellows and the greens, if I want to get colored tissue paper, that would be a great color to get. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you have to go and buy special papers and all of that. But if you are already buying papers, think about matching it to your theme so that we're being consistent. We're just reinforcing our brand identity in everything we do. Note cards or other items in the box. Again, not a necessity, but it's nice to do if you feel that it's part of how you want to spend your budget. I know when I get something from Southern Charm, there's always going to be a little like, I think it's like a cellophane type wrapper, and there's going to be some type of ephemera in there with a cool sticker. And I've come to expect these. I've come to like look forward to it. I used to send out little plastic ducks and people would look forward to it. People would be like, oh, I collect your ducks. So things like that. What are you doing to help reinforce your brand? Thank you cards. Thank you cards are wonderful. And I hear a lot, you do have a lot of my ducks, yes. And the woven basket. A lot of people say at the very beginning, oh, I do handwritten thank you cards. And I think that is so cool. One thing I would advise, how did this go? I heard this saying the other day, and I wish I would have wrote it down. Here you go. Start with the end in mind. When you start Whatnot, or even today, what's your end goal? What's your goal? So start now. Do today with where you want to end. So be today where you want to be at the end of it. Start with the end in mind. I want to send out 100 orders a day. Maybe not 100, but I want, let's say if I want 50 orders a day, but right now I have 1 order a day. I can easily write a thank you card for 1 order a day. Am I going to be able to do that with 50 orders a day? So I'm not saying don't do thank you cards, but think about the end goal. Where are you taking this? Pretend you're there. Fake it till you make it kind of attitude. Start with the end in mind. So all of this branding, all of this recognition is, you may think, oh, I'm just a little guy. I do 1 show a week. Barely nobody comes to my shows. They will. Start with the end in mind. Okay. Do you put coupons in? I'm a big coupon fanatic. Handwrite if you're looking to do volume. It is not. And I think that I Love Discounts handwriting is not sustainable if you're looking to do large volume. Maybe a quick thank you on a packing list, but what else can you do to make that person feel valued, that's efficient, that you can do? A handwritten thank you, as sweet and nice as it is, and generally appreciated by a lot of people, is not sustainable for growth. But can you get a thank you card printed up that you sign your name to? That's sustainable. So think about the feeling you want to give. If a type of a handwritten note is a feeling you want to give, okay, how are you going to do that when you're shipping out huge orders every week? So I'm not saying don't do it, but think about how are you going to do it when you start to grow. You can print them. Maybe you could, put it on a sticker. So there's different things you can do with it. Branding doesn't just apply to what you're doing on Whatnot. Use your logo, your color scheme, your fonts, your voice, your branded voice in all of your social media. Bring it all together. If you are one of those people who use social media, use it to your advantage to enforce your brand. Yeah, Farm LLC stickers, absolutely. I love that idea. Use your all of your branding everywhere. So don't be, Zoe's Treasures on one site, and I'm creating this antique, vintagey spa feel, and then I come over here and I'm on Instagram and I'm creating this eclectic hippie vibe. They don't jive, right? You want that vibe everywhere. Go back to think about the big retail establishments. When you look at Walmart online feels like Walmart in the store. And when you think about Walmart, it makes you feel and think a certain way. So make sure, I'm getting distracted and laughing at the red chat. So make sure that all of your social media is vibing together. It's all this consistent logo, colors, fonts, all of that. So it's cross-platform branding. That's the proper term, cross-platform branding. The other thing, what are you doing for your loyalty or VIP recognition? How are you branding that? What are you doing? Let me do another giveaway. What time is it? Okay. We're going to do another giveaway. This one is another bird postcard. Really pretty postcard. Number 5. And you will also get a trick with that one too. What are you doing to recognize people after the fact? Oh, you're going to go design a flower power. Awesome. That's cool. So loyalty or recognition, how are you branding? How are you rewarding your VIP people? And this is part of branding too. If you think about your major grocery stores, they have member rewards. You put your phone number in when you're the little keypad there when you're checking out. But it's part of their branding. It's part of what they've done. What are you doing to reward people? Farm LLC, you see right there in the chat, has VIP bundles. People come to expect this. It's part of who she is. It's part of her brand. They know when I hear Farm LLC, I'm thinking the bundles that every Monday, I think it's Mondays, Sundays or Mondays, you can go and buy a bundle. Don't forget, you guys, thank you so much, first of all, for your purchases from the bin. If you are buying PDFs, make sure you're DMing me your email so that I can get them to you right away. So are you doing shout outs? Is part of your branding that you're shouting out the customers? Part of your branding, let's go back to our catchphrases. When somebody does a first purchase, are you saying something to welcome them or thank you? Or is it part of? And it doesn't have to be. You could be like, okay, I'm not going to do a first purchase thing, but I'm going to make sure that every month I'm sending a DM to my top customers. There is branding in the follow-up and what you're doing. And how about follow-up messages? So again, not sustainable to send a thank you message to every single person who buys from you, but are you picking just a couple of your customers every single month? Just send a quick message. Hey, I just really appreciate you. Thanks for being in a few of my shows. That's branding who you are. That's creating a vibe. That, again, is no different than the sticker on your package. If you got an unexpected DM from somebody that you may have visited their show a few times and bought a couple of things, and just out of the blue, you got a DM on Whatnot that says, hey, I just want to let you know I appreciate you. Thanks so much for being at my shows. Don't ask them for anything. You're not trying to sell anything. You're purely giving. You're thanking. If you were the recipient of that, how would that make you feel? Do you get that rush of emotion of, oh, that was so sweet that they sent that to me. You know what? I need to go check out their show again. So think about how the vibe that you're creating, how do you want to carry that through after the fact? As a new seller, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Sunshine Vintage. Let me just catch up on. Okay. And then packing slips. Okay, this is controversial. This is the controversial part of this one is packing slips. Do you or don't you put packing slips in? I am pro packing slip because to me that's branding. So we have a lot of yeses, but I do know people are like, it's wasteful, it costs money, it's not useful, don't kill the trees. Yes. So there are both sides of the fence, and there is not one that is right or one that is wrong. I choose as a seller to use them, even if I'm doing random pulls, because here's an objection you're going to hear a lot. Well, I do random. The packing list just says random number 1, random number 5, random number 8. It doesn't mean anything anyways, but it does. If somebody, I have people in my shows who will buy 10, 11, 12 things, even if they're all, say, random. If I'm putting a sticker on that item, random number 1, 10, 18, and they have a packing list that says number 1, 10, 18, that's reinforcing the care and concern that I have for them as my buyer, to show that look, here's proof. Here's all of your items. They're numbered here. Here's your item all wrapped up nice and pretty in your bubble wrap with a number, 10 sticker on there. And you can look at your packing list and you can easily see. It's accountability, yes. Farm Ellis, that is a good point. If it was a full receipt, correct. I do agree with that as far as it doesn't help for accounting purposes. I do it as a seller because I think it, one, I use it to attach coupons to, so little coupon codes to. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're going to talk about that because that is so important. But so I attach coupons to them, but I use it more for the accountability to show that, hey, just for you, I want to make you feel comfortable where you can see you bought 10 things. Here's 10 things in your box. Let's see who won this. Lorraine, congratulations. You won that giveaway. With every treat today, we are also giving you a trick. So a trick in the form of bad, whatnot, or life advice. So let's do this one. Here we go. Here's your bad advice today. Forget the broom. Use a Swiffer for a modern witch aesthetic. There you go. Packing slips, yes. Everybody, and I think most of you do it already, but please, on your whatnot address, if you are a seller, make sure your whatnot username is in your return address, because particularly if you do not use packing slips and you don't put a sticker on there and you put nothing in a box, and I get this box and it's wonderful, it's packaged great, my items came to me safely, but I forget who I bought it from. Very, very common. People will forget who they bought it from. As a buyer, I don't want to have to go back and search through stuff. Yes, I could. Yeah, the technology's there. I can go and search. But why should I? As a seller, I want to make it easy for you to remember who I am. So if at the very, very least, put your username as part of your return address. So before your full name or take your full name off, put your username so people at least know who the package came from. I respect their time and won't make them spend another hour looking up the video receipts. Exactly, Mary. I just think as a seller, my big thing is I always talk about breaking down barriers to buying, and that includes after the show. I don't want you to have to figure out who it came from. I want you to know, because I want you to have that good feeling that it was from me. Okay, there is another giveaway going. It is, let's mix this one up. This is 2 vintage postcards. So you're going to get 2 vintage postcards coming your way. And that's number 6. All right, let's do another this or that, because I forgot to do them and I've been talking away. Okay, this or that, you guys. Haunted hayride or creepy corn maze? What's your preference? So far, creepy corn maze. Yes. We got a haunted hayride there. Hayrides. I'm all about the corn maze. I don't know. I don't like to be scared. I don't do anything scary, but I think I'd want a corn maze. A lot of hayrides. As a buyer, I receive packing slips that I can't read because the type is too small. That's the other thing. Sunshine Vintage, I know we're all trying to save money and be as economical as we possibly can. Hey, I am all for being as economical as you can. You always get lost in the corn maze. Mary, I don't do scary at all. But if you print stuff so tiny that we can't look, I'm old. I have to have a TV just to read the chat. That's useless. Don't even bother. Like at that point, why bother? If you can't read it, it's useless. So think about the people who are buying. If your customer base is a lot younger, maybe they have younger eyes. I don't know. But yeah, so you kind of think about it. It's not always about saving the money. There's a balance there. Okay. Full moon or foggy night? Which one? Full moon or foggy night? Oh, I'm with Aaron on this one. So many people like full moon. I love the fog. Foggy night for me all the way. Even though it's creepier, it's still, I don't know, there's something peaceful about foggy nights. All right, we'll do another one in a little bit. We've got about 2 minutes on that giveaway. I have gone through all of my points. I think the main thing we're trying to get at is you're building anticipation. So before the show, you're building anticipation, you're building that recognition. Who you are, creating that anticipation, that FOMO. People want to see your show. People want to know who you are. During the show, it's about the experience. It's about letting your personality shine through, and it's creating that experience. After the show, it's retention and loyalty. It's getting that brand to stick. So every single part, I can't say one is more important than the other. They all work together. And just pulling that all together. And go back and think about unique ways. I think probably one of the key points, takeaways today is if there's things outside of your control in your environment, how can you make them seem intentional? So you're bringing them into your environment and making them part of your vibe. We talked about people who have no other choice and they always do their shows outside. Okay, so how do you make that part of your vibe then, if that's where you're going to be? If the only place that you can do your show is from your closet, because maybe your clothing seller is the only place you can do it, what are you going to do to turn that into your vibe? How can you make that nice? How can you make it so people want to be there? And that is it. Do you guys have any questions before we kind of just wrap stuff up here? We got about a minute on that giveaway. So, all right. Who's going trick-or-treating tonight? What are you going to be? I want to hear the costumes. Best costume, funniest costume. I have to say my favorite so far this year, there was a ton of great ones last night. My favorite so far was on the new seller raid train. Which seller was it? My goodness, I'm going to forget which seller it was. I forget which seller had it. One of the sellers had, her and her husband were going as 6, 7. So she was 6, he was 7, and they had the hands. 6, 7. I cracked up because if you have a teenager or probably any child of talking age, this is probably all you are hearing right now. I thought that was one of the best costumes ever. Is anybody going out? Anybody dressing up? I'm going to be the Lorax again tonight with my daughter. My 15-year-old has actually chosen to be twinsies with me, and we're going to pass out candy. So I'm super excited. Good morning, Choco Dog. Your teenage son is wearing a silicone horse mask and a brown cloak. Excuse me. Toddler is a firefighter. Aw. You're on aunt duty. Niece and nephew. Oh, that's so cool. Your pup is going to be Superman. You're going to be a hippie. All right. 10 Mile Studio. You got that giveaway. All right. This is the last one. So this is the last trick. With every treat, you're getting a trick. I'll read you the rest of them. We'll just do these and then we'll go raid somebody. So for that treat, the trick is all of your problems can be solved with one more whatnot order. That's your bad advice of the day. Let's see. I have 4 more pieces of bad advice. Let's read them. Next piece of bad advice. This is for all the buyers out there. Leave cryptic emojis in the chat. Keep people guessing. Scream every time somebody bids. Keeps the energy high. For all the sellers out there, I love discounts. Oh my gosh. Okay. For all the sellers, never test your microphone. Everyone loves the sound of static and confusion. And our very last one, very last piece of bad advice for Halloween, trust your gut, unless it's Taco Bell night. And with that, we're going to go ahead and raid somebody. Y'all have a great weekend. Have a very happy Halloween. Have fun tonight. Be safe. And let's go see who we can raid.
Honey, what are you doing?
Nothing?